Once again, in Canada, the minister responsible for curbing organized crime and mass illegal border crossing proves that he doesn't actually understand crime. Bill Blair, you'd think, would know better, having been the chief of police in Toronto, Canada's largest city, but it's become increasingly apparent he doesn't know anything about the realities of lawbreaking, specifically the difference between legal gun ownership and illegal gun ownership, and more importantly, the fact that it's the guns owned illegally that tend to cause the most problems. Lethbridge, Alberta Conservative Member of Parliament Rachel Harder had an event called Guns and Guinness, where she encouraged people to come out, shoot some guns at a range in a controlled, supervised, legal environment, and then go and have a pint of Guinness at a barbecue later on. Bill Blair called this, quote, deeply disappointing, unquote, because of the tragic homicides with firearms that exist around Canada. So he draws a line between a bunch of people shooting guns at a range and gangsters gunning each other down in the streets of Toronto. This is Bill Blair proving that he's a .22 caliber mind in a .45 caliber world. He's a lightweight. And quite frankly, Canadians should be especially gun-owning Canadians, should be very disturbed that the minister responsible for organized crime thinks that a bunch of legal gun owners at a range is just as much of an equal force as the guns owned by gangsters and those actually in organized crime environments and settings. This is actually quite unfortunate, but it proves what people like me, a gun-owning Canadian, have been saying for a long time about Justin Trudeau, which is that he does not view gun crime as the problem. He views guns as the problem, and his entire cabinet views guns as the problem, despite a wealth of evidence suggesting that a gun-owning Canadian is actually one of the safest people in the world. And one of the safest people in the country. And actually, a Canadian with a firearms license is less likely to cause harm to anyone else than an average Canadian without one. And that's actually something that people need to realize. Certainly Bill Blair does. For the True North Initiative, I'm Andrew Lawton.